Oh, hello again. It's nice to see you. Kidding. It's just a Nerf gun. It's not a real gun. Just a Nerf gun. Don't worry, guys. Don't panic. No reason to panic. Oh, we've got an early for some morning stream, and it's not even that early. It's 10 a.m. my time. We're doing it a little bit earlier than usual so we can talk to the one and only Goltra today. I don't know what we're going to get into. There's lots of stuff to talk about, but rest assured, it will not be boring. It never is around in these parts. I see Lorem in chat. It's been a while, Lorem. How are you doing, man? Got Lucky Shot, Jester, Jay, Chaquiquo. Man, how do you say that? Chajakwo. I'm sure it's in a language that I don't. Hey, what up, Fesk? The greatness. The greatest of all time in the building. It's gonna be a good one. I'm pumped today. And I've got my early morning blackberry kombucha. It's never too. It's I'm in Idaho, Jester. The old Idaho. Kristen, how'd you get to your username? Chajakwo 974. How did you get that from Kristen? Besk, been working on some obscure shit. Spill the tea, I'm curious. Ooh. Oh, I've been working on some obscure shit. That I have. I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit, but for those of you that don't know, I'm letting everyone funnel in right now, but Kristen Jacquat. That makes sense. I am in an attic. Check it out. What up, Ninad? How are you? For those of you that don't know, let me pull up that promo image. It's supposed to be kind of cryptic. I'm gonna come up with one that people can actually read quickly. But yeah, check this out. French. That's what's up. October 2nd. Buckrender, Malvita, Josh Pierce, Shaka Blood, Bjorn Kaleho, CryptoPalm. I'm having trouble reading this myself. Jazzy, Mark the Habibi, Jay, Rombrandt, Moody Darkroom, Chemical Messiah, Lucrece, Steffi Fung, Rye, Claire Silver, Savage Dogs, Liquid Density, Smeka, Soyeon Lee. Yep. I know her, but it's hard to read. So spaced out. And Missing Watcher. We have an auction going on. Nah. Sorry, Lorem. Hey, if you want in on the next auction, send me a message. Yeah, Fesk, it's names. But it's it's just a teaser image. There's gonna be more like legible things in the in the future. But it's gonna be so sick. That's a list of hitters if I've ever heard one. And we're going to be doing a live auction on stream. With me as the auctioneer talking really fast like this. Can I get a 1112 112 112 sold? That's not how you do it, but I'm gonna do a lot of that. Yeah, huge list of names. It's gonna be a blast. Working on logistics, promotion, connecting, charity, all of those things right now. And so all you need to know is October 2nd. Mark it on your calendars. Fesk, you and Lorem in on the next one. I wanted to invite you guys, and then I got to the point where it's like, I can't have too many people on this. You feel like a shrimp? You're not a shrimp, Lorem. Come on, dude. You gotta big up yourself. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be very fun. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be charity. There's going to be tons of badass art. Each one of these artists is making a one-of-one piece specifically for this auction. So, should be a good old time. I know, yeah, it'd be even harder to read. I just wanted to have fun with this one. Guys, without further ado, we're just making Goltra wait. Let's not do that. Let's bring him on. Big round of applause for the one, the only, Goldtree. What up, man? You there? There you are.
Hey.
What's
Can
up?
you hear me? How's it going? Yeah, I was like, I had the dual screen thing going on. How's it going, everybody?
How you doing, dude? I know the stream's on a delay, so sometimes it's a little bit jarring.
No worries, no worries. I was doing my interior decorating in this hotel room to see which is most like camera presentable.
It's perfect. Oh, I think you did it. I think you made it.
Yeah, awesome.
You just need
cool.
to carry
Hey,
an infinity background wherever you go, and just set it up in your hotel rooms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I should maybe when we do V2 of this thing, we'll do something like that.
Perfect.
Hopefully, I'm not in a hotel room by then, but hopefully then I'll be home to my spot. But cool, man. Nice to see you, Orphan. Your intro was a vibe. You were very much you're a great kind of mancer of the crowd.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. It's been 3 months of hard practice. Trying to
it's cool.
Get it under my belt.
It's cool.
I'm having a great
awesome.
time doing this stream though. It's pretty fun.
Awesome. I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna do this. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out my screen setup. But yeah, here we go.
Sure.
Cool.
Nod says he's disappointed you don't have laser eyes in real life, and I have to say I'm on the same page.
Yeah, the other one was I tried to make it a thing where if people had never heard my real voice, I wanted to convince everyone that my voice was actually the guy from The Room.
Tommy Wiseau?
Yeah, I wanted to convince everyone that my voice sounded exactly like Tommy Wiseau, but I think I've maybe killed it for everyone. Maybe. I should have come in and been like, "Oh hi, Orphan."
Oh hi, Orphan.
Yeah.
Man, there's got to be a voice changer for that, right?
That'd be a great, like that one would probably be more complex. I feel like the like AI voice mods are probably you just make it as low as possible or as high as possible. But yeah, I think I'm sure that's kind of on the horizon at some point. Is you pick a person.
Dude, right? I haven't thought about deep fakes in a long time, but I'm sure they're getting crazy.
Oh yeah, I guess neither have I, but yeah, I would imagine that the rate of it all is I'm sure like every 6 months there's something crazy that you don't even notice and it's like some leap. It's kind of the sign of the times.
Maybe if I stream enough, my wife will be able to resurrect me as an AI, and then I can go mad because the technology isn't perfected yet.
Yeah,
that's the dream.
It's fun. This is a great tangent actually. So I use the Node app Roam, which is like I'm not like one of the, like I don't know. There's like a whole productivity cult. I'm not part of that, but like it's constructed the way you would kind of have like a stream of consciousness thought thing.
Yeah.
And so I definitely had the thought where it was like, oh, if I did a really good job in my Roam for like and I just used it for 50 years.
Yeah.
Like they could probably use it to like bring me back from the dead, right? Like, with advancements in technology, right? Like this might just be like, oh, here's all his inner thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. we could bring that back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you might still be dead, but like everyone else will still get to enjoy Goltra.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's where the tricky part comes in, right? It's like what makes you? But yeah, I don't know. If
we're starting off with the big ones.
Let's go deep, dude. Let's screw all this other stuff. Yeah. Speaking of that, we can
talk about profile picture. We could talk about PFP NFTs, or we can talk about immortality.
Dude, in the future, people are going to be like,
one of two. Yeah.
That's not Goltra, man. I right click saved his Roam notes. Like
exactly.
It's not actually him.
Yeah, I have the NFT of I have the NFT that makes the official Goltra. Yours is the fake Goltra.
Yeah, 100%. Dude,
Yeah.
the future is gonna be nuts, 100%. I do want to, for anyone in chat right now who doesn't know about you, can you give a little short? Who is Goltra? What are you doing?
Sure. Hey everybody, I'm Colin Goltra. I am, I guess, perhaps most known in this community as like a crypto art collector. My collector handle is Goldtree, and so have been collecting for about a year now. And yeah, I guess some of the stuff on the crypto art side, I have a pretty sizable collection. Try to get active in the community. I've done a series of like writings and blogs about kind of the collector process and kind of what NFTs and crypto art mean. What I think they mean culturally. Outside of the crypto art and NFT scene, I have been in crypto for a long time. So I was like a tech and finance bro in San Francisco, but was kind of like an early kind of discovered the Bitcoin community and stuff. And so just people always talk about rabbit holes, but that was, I guess, my first pretty deep rabbit hole. And have kind of been in crypto ever since. I do like to think of it as my life's work. I usually live in the Philippines, which is kind of rare. I'm Filipino American, so my mother's Filipina, but was originally kind of from California, and then moved to the Philippines in order to sort of build a crypto startup out there, and then kind of helped to build that, and then I'm now working at Binance, which is one of the kind of major crypto exchanges globally. And focused on like Southeast Asian markets. I'm pretty active in my kind of local crypto community and ecosystem, which we call Crypto PH, which is kind of focused on a lot of like the crypto gaming stuff, like Axie Infinity in the Philippines, which is a big kind of thing, and also a lot of like crypto art focused stuff. There's kind of its own NFT community, and it's especially interesting in the Philippines because I think if you can make a little bit extra income or sell an NFT even for a relatively low value once a month, it kind of moves the needle. And so, yeah, kind of just some dude that's been in the crypto space for a while. I do really enjoy collecting crypto art, and I kind of do refer to crypto art as a subset. I definitely have like, a broader NFT collection or portfolio, but I think I've been a little less focused on some of the major projects that have gotten super popular. I do of course have a boy though, and a girl.
Hell yeah. Which ones?
But I forget which ones. I don't, unfortunately I don't have any like the super rare one on the very rare one of ones or anything. But I got some good ones. I got they're in there somewhere. I'm pretty happy with those. Yeah.
Any boy.
I got the one that was
boy.
like all and like I got those. Those were OG. Those were, or not OG, but those were early enough that it wasn't total mass hysteria. Yeah,
for sure, dude. Boys got crazy for a while there.
Yeah, totally,
for certain.
Yeah, it seems like so long ago, right? I think it was only like 3 months ago. And
yeah, it was like 10 years ago that boys went crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what was that? Probably like May, right, or something, like whatever the last kind of run up was, which seems just like an eternity ago now. Right. Like I called it an OG project there for a sec, but I mean, by NFT standards, I guess it is.
I think boys did, in my mind at least, boys marked the first artist made collectible profile picture project. I know there were some before, but that was like kind of like the hitter.
Yeah, I would say that's the one that really took off. There were, I think, a couple of that vintage. Like the other one I would point to that I'm also like a really big fan of is Baka Arts had surrogates.
Yeah, surrogates.
And so like
sick.
Obviously Baka has Darius has like independently like just a brilliant artist, right? But he also kind of had a bunch of handmade profile pic collectibles of that era as well.
And you got the homage Goltra, the Goltra surrogate as well. That one's so sick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I that one was pretty cool. I got lucky with that. Yeah, Baka. I think he's very savvy too, right? Like he he knows, he knows kind of how to work the levers of the ecosystem. So yeah, I mean, it got me super stoked on the project, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
It's
I
a
bought
great
other ones
move.
and stuff. And so yeah, it was a good investment, I think, on his part.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I love. I didn't know a lot of that stuff about your journey here. That was cool to hear. Thank you for sharing with us. I didn't know that you
Yeah, happy
were.
to.
So I didn't know you worked at Binance. That's cool. So what do you think about?
Yeah.
Binance had like a little resurgence, around the same time, around May, or not a resurgence. They've always been there, but like a real big come up. People were the coin pumped. People were super interested in the ecosystem for NFTs and stuff. What did you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, it was great for business. Like, I think what I see about finance is, like, generally we're very quick to adopt like new tokens and stuff. And so I think especially when, like Doge, and like there was a period there where there was a lot of just kind of meme coins and hot coins and stuff. And we were one of the primary venues to trade that in a very liquid way.
Yeah.
And so, that I think was good for business on balance. And then, just in general, like, we're also, like, I'm on the internationalization team. So like, we're actually very focused on being not just in the really, large markets that everyone thinks of as kind of dominant sort of crypto trading markets, but, like we have, we want to expand sort of throughout sort of the far-flung parts of Asia, just kind of every market, right? Like it is kind of our mandate. And so, it's been cool. Like I've enjoyed the time at Binance so far.
Awesome. And then you also mentioned Axie, which is probably like the OG NFT gaming, like play to earn game, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I actually, it's one of the early ones, and it's certainly by far the most successful one. Like,
Sure.
It's the one that has really taken off. And in the Philippines, I mean, separately from kind of crypto art and kind of collectibles and stuff, like the crypto gaming scene, and especially the Axie Infinity scene, is like the Philippines is like the epicenter for that. There was we actually had some friends that made a documentary about, like, in the Philippines, there's people that are like, there's a bunch of people that basically didn't have jobs anymore because of the pandemic and stuff. And then they took up Axie Infinity, and there's like whole villages of people literally in like the rural Philippines playing Axie as like their main source of income.
Really?
And so it's a really crazy scene. I'm happy to link that documentary in maybe my Twitter or something. But
dude, yeah, I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
Because I know
it's
a little
a short one too.
about
It's like
it.
18 minutes. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of mind blowing because you kind of don't think like people think that the crypto thing. Well, I mean, and it is in a lot of parts of the world. Is like it's this fun global game or scene where people are kind of playing creator games and money games, and like like certainly that scene is there, but like there is a bottom of the market, if you will, that backstops a lot of this, where like people are really like working hard to play games and stuff, but really that's kind of the backstop of that ecosystem or that economy and stuff. And so there's a lot of really crazy stuff going on in crypto gaming in the Philippines. And so the Philippines is kind of weird, I mean, in a good way, like this really cool like epicenter of crypto activity that I think a lot of people don't usually think about.
100%. People are very focused on, especially in America and in more developed, where most of the people are from, doing cryptocurrency. It's easy to forget the power that it has to lift people out of poverty. And
absolutely,
especially the gamification's especially interesting to me because I don't know, like not only can people in like the suburbs make money playing games by being good at it, but yeah, like you said, you can go full time into Axie if you're in a in a situation where that makes your rent for the month. That's crazy. That's very cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it's obviously it's people in the, like, crypto in general, right? So it's like, it's people in the, there's like people obviously in like the more rural parts where like even just a little bit of money goes a really long way. But then there's like people that would maybe be, artists on the side, or they'd be like dramatically underpaid designers and like that sort of thing. Like being able to, if they can sell, right now, at current rates, right, if they can sell like 0.25 ETH a month or
Yeah.
something, they're like their careers way accelerated versus where they would have been, right? Like,
Yeah.
even in the Philippines, as like, like a professional class, but like young person. That part's like, I think that part's pretty cool. And so, yeah, I think like through all stacks of the society, and then maybe at the high end, right? It's like, people that would be really good traders or investors, but maybe wouldn't get the opportunity, like they're trading on a global market and stuff. And so,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
I like the idea of being able to open source equity, because that's essentially what you're doing with a play to earn game. Is
Totally.
like normally in order to get equity in a company or equity in a game or a stock, you would have to have a lot of money to be able, or you'd have to have at least enough for a stock and then put it in, but everyone else would already be in. But now, specifically, like you can play these games and earn like a portion of the company. That's really, so not only are you earning the money you need, but then you also have, savings built into that potentially.
Totally. Yeah, like the analog we use a lot is like imagine if in the early days of Uber, drivers were making both cash and then they were somehow accruing, like stock options or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like basically the very early people that helped make the Uber network successful in the earliest days, they would have become very wealthy because they were an Uber driver in like 2013 or something, right?
Right.
And so the analog of that is like if you're in one of these like economic networks, which happen to look a lot like video games, but really they are their own like mini economies, just like Uber is its own mini economy. It's potentially like a wealth generating or at least financial stability sort of generating event. So, cool.
Do you think that that's, because I've been thinking about this quite a bit lately, is I'm only trying to figure out how to phrase it. So you need to have money to make money usually, right? But it seems like cryptocurrency in general is enough of a new technology that the usual stopping blocks along the way to make money are lifted somewhat. So the people being able to come up is a lot easier if they work hard than it is in a traditional career path. And
totally. Well, yeah, definitely. I think in crypto networks, what's interesting is like money is weirdly so abundant that like when you're starting a crypto network, there's other things you'd want to contribute, right? You want to contribute time, you want to contribute like development, right? You want to contribute art, right? In some cases, right? Like, and so, like if you airdrop a token or what have you to users or to whatever creators in your network, like there's ways of rewarding participation even without the capital. And I think that's kind of what you're getting at, right? It's like, it's not something that you're just, some like qualified venture investor or something. It's like, no, actually like our users do contribute value into the network, right? Or, developers, of course, but like, open source developers and these sorts of things, right? Or partners, vendors, right? Like these are all like, you kind of want them all to have a stake in the network that you're building.
Yeah, because usually you would participate and you would get this token. Like I'm thinking about games specifically, right? You'd get like an in-game currency, but then it's all completely centralized through whoever makes the game. So the idea of mixing that with a stock or with like actual value in the company is like really exciting. It's very exciting to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people who need that kind of out to be able to work themselves up.
Totally. Yeah.
What do you think about because one of one art really popped off. And speaking of, I want to pull up your collection, because your collection, no joke, is one of the most beautiful that I've ever seen. You've done a really good job at curating it.
Thank you. Yeah. That's, I think, especially, I mean, I think still now, and I'm obviously very, very honored to hear you say that, but especially early on, like I think the thing I became really known for early on is like, there was a bunch of stuff I wanted to buy and I liked and I didn't buy, right? Because my early on thing was just like whoever Goldtree was, like there was for a while, like there was kind of a disconnect between who I was and who the collector was. And like oh, this person, like everything is very thematically similar, like visually, like I tried to make it kind of its own. I kind of had this this very high concept of the collection as its own work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is my Showtime page.
It's so good.
Yeah, thanks. And then early on, like I definitely collected mostly from super rare, but I think one of ones is kind of my priority. So I have quite a bit from Foundation now as
Mm-hmm.
well, and some from like OpenSea. I think OpenSea lately, especially just given kind of the minting situation, there've been I feel like there's been some artists that have stopped minting on Foundation or super rare due to kind of the fee environment, which is unfortunate, but. Yeah, cool stuff.
I didn't realize you had this 5 times no piece. That's sick. He's really good. He's so underrated right now.
I know. I was shocked that like I saw it on I was browsing it, and then I was just shocked that like I was shocked that it was available. I was like, oh, this thing's someone bought this one for sure, right?
Right.
Yeah, but there's like and then I tried it, like I did it on accident, but there's like a lot of weird themes to it where it's just like. Obviously, like there's a lot of like androids and stuff. There's like bald, like I think I was one of the people who made the bald human. Like I think I was one of the ones who made like the bald human business model work in crypto art, right? Like I was definitely one of the people that was like helping to backstop that market for a bit.
Did Euphoria pay you on the side for that?
No, not at all. No, Euphoria doesn't need me. Yeah, I obviously have one of his works, but. It's I mean he doesn't need my help to succeed. That guy's awesome.
Nah, no way. He's great.
Yeah.
Some of a lot of times, and probably in mine too, like there's a certain aesthetic that comes through, but yours is very defined. Do you have any intentions on making a gallery, like a metaverse gallery or a real gallery or like an IRL gallery in the future?
So yeah, I have. So I share one with like I guess it's not really a business, but like a business partner named Gabby Dizon, and it's called Nara Gallery, and so it's in the 100x Art Gallery in Decentraland.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's it's pretty cool actually. So I guess on the crypto art side, we have Nara Gallery, which kind of serves two purposes. One is it's our bridge of the crypto art world. We kind of think about it as our bridge of the crypto art world into the Philippines, right? So like, and then also vice versa. So like we also are the bridge for Filipinos to get into the NFT space. And so we've done some cool projects. Like we started as like this virtual gallery, which we still have. It's up in Decentraland, called it's called Nara Gallery. Nara is the name of the national tree in the Philippines.
Oh. Okay.
And then that's in like the 100x art neighborhood. So we were in like a Discord thread where a bunch of collectors were kind of trying to buy land like close to each other and stuff. And so there's a whole art district there, which is pretty cool. Like there's big public sculptures, and like we kind of share we share a lot of that space. And then so we have the physical gallery, and then we also did we actually also did the main exhibit in this year at the National Art Fair in the Philippines, because basically they had to shut down their like in-person event sadly last minute. And they were like, well, we'd still like to have an art fair. What do we do? And so there was this there was like this other kind of production company that's also kind of looking at NFTs and Southeast Asia, and they're like, hey, you guys should try to host the event at our gallery. And so we were one of the exhibits there, and so it was really cool. So we had a chance to display a bunch of Filipino artists, and that was really cool because so we displayed a bunch of Filipino artists, and then we also had like Nara has 5 floors, and so then we also had and then we had some of our favorite international artists displayed, to kind of the Filipino audience. And so we kind of went, we did a tour where we were screen sharing we were screen sharing like a walkthrough in Decentraland, and it was cool. Like many of the artists we picked, some of them were sort of independently successful, but sometimes they were successful as like designers or illustrators, and so as as you know, the art fair is generally kind of thought of as you know, kind of traditional mediums of kind of fine art. These were people that I think never thought they would make it to the National Art Fair of the Philippines.
Yeah.
And then suddenly this new medium came out, which was NFTs and crypto art, and they're like, "Holy shit, I get to be in the art fair!" So that was really cool. And then maybe one last thing we do as part of Nara Gallery. So we do an occasional show. We have the gallery in Decentraland, and then we actually also created this thing called the First Mint Fund, where we loaded some ETH, and then we also kind of did kind of a public a public send of the address, and we ended up raising a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And that is a fund that we use when we have this guy managing it, who's like this very well-respected designer in the Philippines. It's also like super deep into NFTs now as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that is basically we will just straight up pay the gas fees if you're an artist in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And you meet kind of whatever the requirements are, right? It's not a quality bar. It's just a prove that you're an artist, that you haven't minted an NFT yet, and we'll just full stop pay your first the fees for your first mint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we think that crypto art, especially kind of the market opportunity for artists and designers and creators in general, should not be one limited by the current failings of our infrastructure, right? Of our financial infrastructure, or crypto financial infrastructure. And so we have that fund where if you get selected, we'll mint your fees. I have some First Mint Fund artists in the collection you saw, and then just generally it's kind of becoming a network now. I think there's a couple shout outs in the the thread itself, which is great.
Yeah. Nanad shouting out.
Yeah, exactly. Nanad, Sevi's there, of course. We saw Sevi's piece there in the in my collection, and I think just we try to. Gabby and I are both kind of Gabby's my partner for Nara Gallery. We're both kind of in the crypto business, sort of outside of the art thing, and then obviously we are probably making things that are not. We're doing things with our collection that are probably not conventionally responsible financial moves, and so I think as part of that we exactly, I'm sure there's not a lot of people who are I'm sure most people are pretty sympathetic to that, the audience right now, but I don't know, we're being kind of all over the place, and I think we've got a lot of other crypto activities and stuff, so we felt we felt that at least at the very least the opportunity is something that we should try to get other Filipinos involved in, other people in Southeast Asia, that sort of thing. So it's been cool. We got our own little.
Ooh, you got a lot. You got a lot going, dude.
Our own little energy thing.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of been. It's really cool. It's and I think they kind of build on each other and stuff, and so that was kind of always the goal.
Yeah. It does. It seems like they all work together, and that I've thought about that. So two things. I don't want to let this go because I'm doing an auction on the 2nd. I don't know if you saw the poster or not, but we've got 25, heavy hitters in the art scene, and I want to give some of the proceeds to a First Mint fund, and so maybe your guys would be a great partner for that.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to actually. We were just DMing today about we should try to kind of just what we're gonna do next to fund even more artists. So I think that'd be fantastic. I'm happy to connect offline about, or be a DM on that. That'd be awesome.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll do that after the stream. But you're doing so much. I love how much you're clearly trying to give back to the Filipino community and give back to crypto art and give back to everyone who's kind of probably made you successful in your path. And I think that's awesome.
Totally. Yeah. I my whole I started in crypto earlier in the earlier San Francisco days. And it was a bunch of, it was very much the techno-libertarian, techno-utopia vision, right? It really was okay, decentralization is the key to everything. And, everyone's going to be on Bitcoin, and strain of them became the maximalists, and
Mm-hmm.
and their demeanor their demeanor soured a bit. But like the original vision of what we were supposed to build with crypto is kind of what we're trying to do here. So it's supposed to be this great leveling force where the best people anywhere in the world get to be the best, and it doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, where you start from. There's, if you're one of the best artists, you should be recognized as such. If you're, it doesn't matter what your name is or what have you. If you're, one of the best gamers in the crypto gaming space, if you're one of the best traders or investors, like it is supposed to be this like global scale, like network thing. And so, yeah, I think I've tried to make that kind of the consistent theme throughout all of this, just in terms of where I've worked in crypto and stuff. And so now it used to just be like, the trend used to just be like, well, can we provide finance in a leveling way? And now it's like art and gaming and culture, and like
else.
Everything's compiling. Yeah, it's so hard to keep track of. But yeah, and so now all the themes are like, we're reaching that singularity moment where like everything's stacking up on top of each other and stuff. But it's awesome. That's like why we did it in the first place.
It makes sense because if you can, like, everything's digital anyways, and so being able to verify the ownership of any of those things, like, it makes sense that everything is gonna go through a huge renaissance.
Totally.
Do you see?
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's like everything's connected on a network scale now, right? Like on a on a global scale, in a way that like people don't really understand yet, right? Right. Like we've really only had internet's like global scale communications. That's literally all the first 20 whatever years of the internet were, right? And now we have like all of these other categories that we don't really understand yet.
Yeah. What do you where do you see, because you mentioned bringing people up and having it be based on how good you are, and the democratization of of these systems. Do you see traditional forces, traditional gatekeepers making their way back into the space? And if so, like how do you think that'll play out? And what do you think the antidote that crypto provides will be?
Yeah, good point. So yeah, definitely like certainly we're seeing that like in the US currently with the current situation, and kind of globally on the crypto trading side, definitely there's been regulators that have gotten more aggressive lately. On the like on some of the like crypto art, gaming, NFT side, like I think it's kind of starting. And I think I get the government desire to protect consumer interests and stuff, and anti-money laundering, anti-terrorist financing, and that sort of thing. Like I get that there's broader goals to serve to that end, right? What I will say though is like the way that we build, right, like those things will be largely gated at the transit. Like I think what people don't quite contemplate is really like all the headache in crypto always comes from when you try to have the crossover between the crypto world and the real world, right? Or the legacy world, right? Like in the finance side, like if you're just DeFi native, everything works super like pretty seamlessly, right? Sometimes it's very expensive, right, with fees and stuff, but like
Sure.
But like most of the headache, not even just from a regulatory perspective and stuff, it all comes at like where the threshold crosses between crypto and fiat currency, right? And in the same vein, like, I think there will be access points between, crypto and fiat and stuff, but like, man, people are earning natively in ETH. People are reinvesting their ETH that they made from selling a piece of art that they created to then buying someone else's piece of art.
Yeah.
And like, there's an insularity to our ecosystem that I think it's not like an ultimate protection, but I think that there's a lot of energy there. And like, I think we can continue to build just within our own ecosystem, right? That in a way that I think is very productive. And like, I think most of the regulatory, points of contention are outside of the ecosystem where it crosses over to the real world, right? And so
100%.
Yeah, that's kind of like I'm content to kind of just build within. I'm content to just like I don't need to go outside the walls, right?
Yeah.
Like I could just build within the walls kind of for
Yeah.
the rest of my career easily.
Just
Like,
you just
and
gotta
I'm kind of
hunker
content
up.
to do that.
You just gotta
Yeah.
hunker up until you can buy bread with ETH, and then we'll be good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm sure there's someone that, I'm sure there's like a little, in the Philippines even, I bet there's, so people play Axie Infinity a lot in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And the token that they build, that they earn in the game is called SLP, Smooth Love Potion. And it has in-game uses to help breed monsters and stuff. But basically it's like, if you're playing to earn an income, that's actually the token that's the wage that you earn, right? You're earning it in SLP. And so certainly, my company, Binance, and so some local companies and stuff, we've built services that allow you to convert your SLP into ETH or into Philippine peso or so forth, right? But actually, like, there's people that are just earning all their money in SLP, and then there's just communities where there's so many Axie players that they're like, yeah, you can pay for your lunch with SLP, and like that's happening now in the Philippines. Like people are just using it as like,
wow,
it's
so
kind of
sick.
they're using it like prison cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
interesting. I never thought about that extension of it. I was always like, yeah, of course you need to put it into your native currency. It's like, well, I guess not if everyone needs, ETH or SLP.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, right. And so it's like, right, because like if I'm Axie Infinity is kind of like a Pokemon where it's like a battle monsters game.
Yeah.
And so if I'm just battling monsters all day and I'm earning that currency, and then the person I buy, I buy dinner from every day is actually just also an Axie Infinity player. Like, right? Like there's this thing where it's just like you're actually interacting in two different worlds, and so you kind of have an account in each, right? And so you can, I can pay digital money for physical goods because we kind of exist. Yeah. We kind of correspondingly existed both together. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just much sooner than I would have expected. Because you hear about that as like the long game, right? It's like, oh yeah, once mainstream adoption of cryptos comes into play, and it's like, no, I guess it's already there in some smaller communities where everyone's just in it. That makes me. I should just make a compound.
That's been kind of the.
I should start a compound where everything is. You can pay for everything in cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, in boys.
Yeah. Just pay me in boys.
Yeah.
It's genius. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure the government will just like give us our own like little plot, and we'll be okay.
Yeah. We could have Burning Boy.
Oh shit, that might be the best idea I've ever heard.
Burning Boys, yeah.
Ryan's in chat, dude. Ryan, we need to make a Burning Boy event.
Yeah.
And then we'll give all the credit to Goldtree, because that's sick. How fun would that be? If Lorona made a boy out of sticks, and then like depending on like how many bids or like if some sort of metric in the community, it like would light on fire at the end of the event.
That'd be blast, yeah.
That would be fun.
If it were an IRL event, I'd try to go. Assuming if the state of the world gets better,
for sure,
I would try to go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I think we had a couple questions in chat, and how much time do you have? I didn't know when you were planning.
I'm good.
To bail out.
I've got another 45 minutes. I'm good.
Perfect.
Yeah, we want to do chat responses.
Yeah, Diana said, can you give some tips for artists who struggle with a lack of sales? That's a big question, Diana, but it is a good one. Yeah, what's your perspective on that? Because it is a little bit down from the crazy like March April madness, right? For one of one artists.
Yeah. This one's always hard for me. I've written about this. I'm not gonna just send someone to my blog instead of answering. But so there's a few things. So one, like, I look for. So first of all, like, in a weird way, like, this is an unsatisfying answer, but I actually think sometimes artists just aren't listening to the market, right? And so you're minting a bunch of stuff, but then there's clearly not interest, or you're or you're putting it at a price where clearly kind of there's not a market clearing price. These sorts of things, like to some extent, I think there is. I think the really successful artists that, well, the really successful artists like they're just going to have kind of a instant demand, like a, fuck render or whatever, right?
Right.
But or Fuocious or what have you, right? But I think the less superstar but still very successful artists, like they mint not as fast as you might expect, right? So like they're not minting several times a week. They're maybe minting once every week or 2 weeks, or like it's actually a pretty slow pace. And so the reason for that is like they wait and they kind of are focused on marketing one piece of art at a time. The other thing that they do is they make relationships with collectors, right? So like
That's a big one.
I've definitely discovered that like it's kind of why there's a Twitter scene and a Discord scene and that sort of thing. Like it is like it's a fine line, right? But it's like schmoozing is its own art, right? Because you don't want to seem like a kiss ass and stuff. Like that's the collectors are smart enough to see through that. And then at the same time, you don't want to seem, like it's a fine balance, right? Like you don't want to seem like a shill, right? You don't want to seem like a shill or a kiss ass or what have you. Like there's an optimization, but you do want collectors to be aware of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, engage with us on Twitter and stuff via, unrelated to art or unrelated to your art, right? And just kind of be like a community member and treat the collectors accordingly. But again, like, I am always sensitive to power dynamics and stuff. And so it's not like, don't be a shill, don't schmooze too hard and stuff. And then the other thing is I would say is like, find a community of like artists, right? So like, being in the audience, being in the live stream here, like I'm sure this is a person that kind of tracks the community quite well and that sort of thing. But I think you I think you want to be, I think people that are well known within their artist community and that other artists get excited about, like collectors do get excited about that, right? Like so like one of the best ways to be discovered as by an interesting collector is that someone else that is in that collector's collection, a different artist, gets excited about you when you mint your piece, right? And so if you're like I've collected a lot of work by this artist Glass Crane. If you're like if I see Glass Crane get excited by another kind of like psychedelic artist or visionary artist, I kind of go like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like let me check this person's work out, right? And so like in a way that's kind of like a warm touch, right? Like, and I'm that to some extent can be gamed and stuff. But then the other thing is like so yeah, like I'd say maybe 3 pillars, right? So focus on the community element. Listen to the market, right? So the market gives you information about pricing. It gives you information about like the cadence of how much you should mint. There are supply and demand effects. And then the last one is obviously quality, right? Like just literally, I think you don't have to mint a lot or like, right. Like you have to kind of optimize your minting schedule, but that shouldn't optimize your creative schedule, right? There is a difference between, making art and minting art, right? Those are way different things. So you should be honing your craft every day still, and then even if you should be getting better every day, right? Like if committing yourself to crypto art, either full time or part time or what have you, like a lot of the really successful people in the space have been obviously there's like some just prodigy type people like Fuo and stuff, but like a lot of the really successful people are like longtime designers, longtime artists, people that have independently had success in digital art, people that have had professional success as, creative directors and stuff. And so these are people that have focused on their craft for many years and stuff. And so I don't know, like it's hard to say. Like I haven't seen this person's art. Maybe they're just an overlooked genius, and I hope so, right? And I hope to figure that out. But yeah, like there's a community element, there's a market element, there's a craft element. These are all things that should be taken into consideration, and I think maybe sometimes they get neglected or ignored.
That was basically a masterclass. You said you have a hard time explaining, but that was perfect. I think those are a lot of very actionable steps and very reasonable steps from both a micro and macro perspective, and I totally. Really appreciate that. That's what I tell people too. Is like you don't want to send a DM. you want to interact like with, it's okay to send DMs, right? But you need to like build
Yeah.
up to it. It'd be like
Yeah.
it's like it's like dating. It's like
Yeah.
you don't want to
Yeah.
you don't want to come in too hot and try and get to like third base like right when you first meet him. Like you want to like,
Yeah.
okay, hey, what's up? Buy a drink. You want to comment on, interact with them on Twitter, build the community, do that thing. But
Yeah.
let me, since you mentioned you haven't
Maybe
seen Diana's art, I'll show you real quick. She has some mandalas which are pretty cool.
awesome. And actually, real quickly, one last spot, which I don't actually know if other collectors incorporate this into their process. I will sometimes. Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, she makes these hand painted mandalas.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah. What platform is this on? Or is this a slideshow?
Oh, this is just her. This is her website.
Oh.
Let me see. Ah, there we go.
Sweet.
So this is her website. I'll link it in chat for anyone.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Wants to see it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
She did one that was on like a 24 by 24 canvas. Like she hand paints them and then she brings them into digital. Pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she a regular caller on the show?
Yeah. Yeah, she hangs around. She's in Romania, so, and I'm in, Western USA, so it's sometimes she doesn't catch the stream, but when she does, we are thankful.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah. Thanks for that question, Diana. I hope that was helpful. But yeah, just generally
helpful for me.
A fourth thing. Yeah, a fourth thing, and I don't know if this is caught on with other collectors. I don't. So at the end of the day, I still always collect art that really speaks to me, right? Like I generally don't ape into stuff. Like I don't have an ape or some of the other things, right? But I do use Showtime. I do use Showtime as a thing, and so I'll use it for discovery, and I'll look at like what's popular, what's trending, what's done, like what's getting attention. And then I'll look at that compared to, whether or not it's sold. The other thing, I do, Showtime for me is helpful for discovery because for me, I can discover across platforms, right? And so I think it's way better for foundation discovery for sure. It's better for super rare discovery and Maker's Place too. It's like, it's convenient for me, but I don't know. I think I don't know if that's, I don't know if that's widely used across like the collector base just yet though. Like I don't know if a lot of other collectors have incorporated that into their process, but I've discovered most of the art, like a lot of the artists that I've collected for the first time in the last, handful of months, like a good amount of them are from foundation that I discovered that I probably wouldn't have otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah. Like 5 Times No, that piece that you pulled up,
yeah.
That one I found on foundation and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I can't believe no one's bought this.
For sure. It's really apparent how early we are when there's not like an easy way to aggregate. And, I don't know how much you've talked with Scott, who's making Genie, but like he's talking about being able to bulk transactions through like his aggregator site and stuff. There's so many of these like,
oh, that's cool,
ease of life tools that are just, they're being built now. And so I think a lot of, but Showtime's really great. I haven't been on it in a while though, but I'm glad to hear that you use it because it makes sense to me. Be able to kind of go down a rabbit hole and find good artists.
Totally. Yeah. And at minimum, like you can see, right. It's convenient because you can browse work. You can browse it per platform. You can browse it per artist. You can see what other collectors have collected each artist. Mm-hmm. You can find collectors you like, but then have, what artists have they discovered that, you share a lot of the same artists and stuff. And so that experience is weirdly like, it's weird to me that no one else has built that experience or built it super well. And so right now Showtime is my solution and it's working, well so far. But yeah, I think there's a bunch of tools that need to be built ultimately. Cause even Showtime has its flaws. Like it's not, I think the community layer is still being built out there, but that's a big part of it.
Awesome. What else do we have? Read through the questions. What do you think Nanad says, what do you think is the way to get more SEA representation into the top right now? like get more people
Ooh.
into it?
Okay, so I'd say there's two, like that, right? Like, right. This is putting my, like, tech business hat on, right? It's like a funnel, right?
Hmm.
And so, like, you need new artists, like, or people that are digital artists, or people that want to start building NFTs for the first time, and they're coming in at the top of the market. They're coming in at the top of the funnel, right? And they're the ones you're just excited to get them into NFTs. So, like, and then ultimately you want to be able to, like, get to, like, so that there are artists that are at the top of the industry from Southeast Asia, right? And so, like, you want to be able to, so to some extent it's a volume game, and then it's also an exposure game, right? So you want to be able to onboard new artists that were maybe iffy about trying NFTs, right? And maybe you want to try different platforms, right? Maybe if they're concerned about the environment, you get them on Hick and Nunk, or you get them on, some other platform that maybe is, is further along in proof of stake. Maybe it's a first mint fund like we're doing, right? Where the economic part is not the barrier to entry. Maybe it's, doing, maybe there's educational stuff we could do, that sort of thing, about teaching them about NFTs and the crypto market and that. So you need to get more people into the funnel itself. And then the way you basically need to create wider, get the funnel to be wider, right? And so the way you would get once people are in the funnel, you basically find ways to showcase, Southeast Asian talent, right? So maybe that's a platform that does really well for Southeast Asia, right? Maybe that's, a bunch of, there's a big event, which is Crypto Art Week Asia. And I think that was in May or June of this year. And so that was like a bunch of talks by kind of the Asia Pacific crypto community, or crypto art community, right? And more events like that, more shows. Maybe you do themed shows on, like, a Nifty Gateway or a Terra Virtua, right? Like, and then just kind of keep increasing exposure, and then I think it is kind of a funnel game, right? And then also, like, the more you bring through it, if maybe one in every 100 or just these are one that can be just, a superstar artist or something, like, you need to start bringing in as much as you can, right? And so, it's kind of just proliferating, the opportunity and stuff. And so, I think it'll take time, but I think there's teams working on it, which is really great.
I think that's a great answer. It's much better than mine. I would have said start a gang. And then eventually,
no, that's a great answer.
sell enough NFTs that you can buy a galleon and a fleet of galleons, and then you make your own island in the South Pacific, apart from everyone else, and then you do the Axie economy and you build up that way until you finally have nukes, and then
that's where we're doing. Burning Boy.
Yeah, right. We should we should take over Easter Island and recarve the heads into boys. It's perfect.
That would be great. That would be really great. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can see it now.
Yeah. But stripping part of your answer away, like, a community is absolutely should be a part of the solution, right? And so, like, there's Discord servers for, like, artists in the Philippines and artists in Asia, and absolutely there should be, and for the Philippines and also Southeast Asia, we've got Nara Gallery and First Mint Fund, but, like, I don't know, like, how can the Nara Gallery help to build one in Thailand or one in Indonesia, right? Like, find leaders for your ecosystem, find, community, these sorts of things. Like, it's a huge opportunity, especially in Southeast Asia, where, like, you're right. People don't collect saying, well, I mean, generally, right. It's not like I look at something and I say, I'm going to pay more for this because the artist is American versus Thai, right, or something, right? And so, like, your pricing is on quality and reputation and stuff, and maybe that's correlated with where you're from, but not fully, right? And so it's not like Fuckrender makes more because he's Canadian, right? Versus somewhere else, right? Like, no one even knows where, like, Pack or Schlom's or some of these other guys are from, right?
Right.
And so, like, I think Schlom's is in the U.S., but still, like, we don't even know where they're from in theory, right? And so, And so, yeah, like that means your income is capped at a global scale, right? You're not making a wage because you're from a poorer economy. You're not making a smaller wage. So that means like, that can be, you can access the top of your profession from your home, which was I think previously not possible for artists or designers. And so
Certainly.
it's kind of like in a weird way, like it's like a moral, like we need to do it because it's like we have to do it, right, for those people.
Yeah. Can you imagine making 10 ETH and living in Argentina?
I mean, just like
so
that's like that's 10 ETH is a lot of money everywhere now, but like
Right.
but just like that's a house in like
Oh yeah.
that's a house in parts of the Philippines, right? And that's like it's like that's huge money, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the more exciting things. Is it gives I don't know. That's one of the most exciting things that I feel about the entire space. It's just like there is a genuine path, and this is why I started in it. Right? It's because like I saw the opportunity. It's like, oh, here's a path where I'm not going to be held down every step of the way. I'm not going to have to pay for endless Instagram ads and all the hurdles along the way. It's like, oh, I can just like make something new here and be rewarded on my work rather than my gaming of a broken system.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
I can only imagine how people
the fun one also is like not everyone has ported from Instagram, right? There's people that are great successes on Instagram that have not made, like there's every time there's these new paradigms, right? Like the digital art has gone from Instagram and being paid in followers and likes to NFTs and being paid in money, right? And so like there's a bunch of people who were not successful on Instagram who are like stars in crypto art.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of people who are very successful in Instagram that have had middling careers in crypto art, right? And so even, and so that even that goes to part of it, right? It's like it's this great leveling thing. So it didn't matter your reputation before sort of maps, but doesn't, maps very imperfectly. And so the whole thing is revolutionary, I guess.
Yeah. I think because it's so early, and this is part of what you were talking about with making relationships with connectors, the social intelligence factor in such a fast-moving space is really important. And I think that some of the traditional things that worked on Instagram don't apply when it's basically like the more relationships you can make, the more money you'll make right now in Twitter and NFTs. Like you need to know, especially if you're thinking about new drops and stuff. Like if you're in the collectibles game, or if you're flipping any NFTs or doing, short-term, basically swing trading of NFTs, if you know the right people and you can get in on hot mints during the mint, then you basically can't lose money if you get in on mint. But if you get in on the floor after mint, it's kind of a gamble, and that's based on just who you know and stuff. So
totally. One thing I'd add kind of as we're discussing that is, I think there was the question about like how do you increase your sales, and I said like listen to the market, right? Because the market tells you more information. I said community stuff, and then I said like craft. Part of it is not just, I think something I would emphasize as part of that is craft as an artist is not just like I think understand that an NFT is not just an audio-visual medium, right? I think that's like one of my like long-standing talking points. It's not an audio-visual medium, right? And so what is an NFT, right? So yes, like if something is visually stunning or it's well composed or what have you, like that is obviously like a big part of the enjoyment of it. But actually, like the token is this thing that exists on a network, and the token is itself something that, if you are an artist or a collector, you live on the network just kind of an equal standing with the token, right? And so the token has its own set of properties, and you can innovate on those properties, right? Like I don't usually like using that word, but like part of the craft of being an NFT artist, crypto artist, is the art, but then also the crypto, right? And so if you want to do a collection, or if you want to do a great example is Nahiko, right?
He's so
Like
cool.
yeah, right. Like all he's doing, I mean, not all he's like
Mhm.
very impressively, like he is like a smart contract artist, basically, right? Like that's kind of what he's doing, right? And so
Yeah.
like he's innovating way more on the he's innovating incredibly well on the crypto side, regardless of his strength as what we would think of as an artist traditionally. But like both of those things are the art in crypto. So like one way to become a better crypto artist is learn about crypto, right? Like how does the blockchain work? How does like the NFT work? Pair up with a like a developer if you don't know how to code or something, right? Like there are interesting projects and crypto native works you can do beyond just selling a beautiful image or a beautiful audio visual file, right? And so like I definitely think there's a lot of artists who have had the profile of their one-of-one work has been like significantly elevated because they've also just made some very interesting project or something, right? So like we talked about Baka Arts earlier, like he was already successful on the one-of-one side, but then now he has a collectibles project, right? And so he's doing different types of he's leveraging his skills but doing different types of works in the broader crypto art and NFT space. Another one that I'm a big fan of is Han RGB, who made crypto cubes a long time ago. And so most of us discovered Han originally because of crypto cubes. And it was this like super interesting generative project. And then of course, like later on, or not later on, but like from that, like a lot of us discovered his one-of-one work, and just kind of took off from there. But understand that it's kind of a bigger game or a bigger space, and it's not, obviously continue to hone your skills, your audio or visual skills as an artist, but then also understand that it's actually like a much larger playground now, and so learning about those other things and stuff can help you innovate in that space.
100%. Yeah. I feel sorry for anyone who's not here because everything that you're saying is very concise and very 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 wise. Yeah, I've always talked about NFTs like a medium. It's like say they invented, painting wasn't a thing and they invented paint, in 2021 or whatever. It's like, well, you use paint for what paint does best. Like, don't try and use it like a photograph. Use the paint.
Exactly. Yeah.
NFTs is the same thing. Like, it's not, the people who are just making art and minting it just flat out are really doing themselves a disservice because there's so many things that are now possible that just weren't possible because of the medium. And I'm looking at your collection. Oh, that's loud. But specifically, this one stood out to me, the Mankind gratitude block. This was the first thing that I saw in NFTs that got me super excited because it changes day to night depending on the time, right?
Yeah.
And
oh no,
is this the one that does that?
This one doesn't change day to night depending on the time. This one's a collab with Please and Thank You. And the one that Mankind has done that was like, for me, like such a great example of being crypto native is for one of his nifty drops, he did a treasure hunt called Gratitude Block.
Yes. Is that where everyone had the seed phrase words and?
Yes, and so like I was part of that actually. So like so there's every wallet. He basically created a new wallet that had a 12-word seed phrase, and he gave the individual words to 12 different artists, and then he gave the order of it into one of those artists' collectors, but the collector had to also be one of his existing collectors. Okay. So because I had that work, me and Pac were like one of the, I still remember it, the 11th word was monitor. But basically like he's just like find all the words, right? And like so then some people were like, I'll sell you the word, I'll do this. And so Pac and I did like a little like videogram of like 11 from from Stranger Things, looking at a monitor and smiling.
Yeah.
And so, but it was like, but then also people had to guess who my artist that I was paired up with was, and like they had to guess who some of the artists were. And so it was a blast though. Like it was, people were so excited about it because, you know, imagine previously you could have a global treasure hunt, you know, that you could have like a treasure hunt that everyone in the world can play. And, you know, all people need to know is like a set of words. Like it's magic, right? Like it's like literally people are looking for like the magic spell to get them this very interesting piece that, you know, is has the attention of the world. And so like that, I think that that is like super crypto native, and you don't even know how to, you don't have to learn how to code to do that, right? You just need to know about seed phrases and these sorts of things, right? Like that's, I thought Mankind was like so innovative in that. Like Red is like really smart. Yeah.
Dude, he's so smart. He's basically who got me into NFTs with his YouTube channel and stuff.
Totally.
I look up to him for sure because he's always doing new stuff. Very smart and very, I don't know, very kind in what he's done. Just putting up those free YouTube videos and stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, this that project reminds me a lot of Missing Watcher. I don't know how much you've followed or know about the Watcher.
I am not familiar with that one.
So he had an entire series. I'll pull up the foundation. He since February has been making NFTs, and for the first few months they were all auctioned off on Foundation, but they had secret codes. It was like an ARG within them, and we would go on the Discord and like try and solve these puzzles.
Oh.
And now he's making a game, you know, kind of circling back to the you know, Parallel and Missing Watcher and like Axie Infinity or something, like the games that I've got my eye on. But so this was the first like set of them, and in each of these there's like Morse code, and there's like different animations. You have to like decode these, and it's all
that's awesome.
It's all NFT native. It was so cool. And now it's more into like story and gaming and stuff, but you know, kind of along the same lines.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because like the one you just pulled up by itself, I really like it, right? Like by itself it's very aesthetically pleasing, right?
Just the art of it's cool.
Yeah.
So this is one that I helped figure out.
It's the art of the puzzle, right? Or something, right? Yeah. I love it.
This one's a grid, and the red, you can see the red like do different things in there, but it's an alphabet grid, so you have to like decode it with that. And then there's Morse on the back end that like pairs with it. The whole thing's crazy. But that's the kind of stuff that's exciting about this space, right? Is like, okay, what can you do with the art that makes it pair with the blockchain, pair with, you know, crypto or whatever. And it's just cool. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. And so I like these sorts of things, right? You know, I think maybe the thing that it takes advantage of there is like, you know, it's a global game, right? It's it's a global market and everyone's looking at it, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun.
For sure. And that kind of leads me into probably the last thing we can chat about. I don't want to keep you too long, but we went over on a news stream a while ago your article talking about artists being basically the conduit for, you know, crypto tech nerds into the culture. And I thought that was I thought that was such an interesting macro view of the space on a cultural level. Can you talk about your thoughts? What prompted you to write that article, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I thanks so much for covering that on your show. I think I've obviously been very happy with the reception it's gotten, and I'm happy it's resonated with people. So for me, I think what prompted me to write it was, you know, I guess I was never like an art guy, right? Like I was never someone that was like, you know, I was never someone that was like, so I didn't study art history in undergrad, or like, this is not something I have a background in, right? But you know, I'm just kind of a curious person, and I want to understand how things work and why things work and that sort of thing. And so when I first got into crypto art, I, in a weird way, discovered, like I learned a lot about art in a way that just I could only learn as a collector, right? And I think just collecting was not something, robustly accessible to me previously for, a lot of reasons. But now, we have internet scale kind of art collecting, right? And so, yeah, like I was, that was maybe, I was like 3-4 months into my crypto art journey, right? I think I wrote that at the end of 2020. I had been, by then I had already kind of had a bunch of really exciting moments and that sort of thing. And like, I had basically just, I'd spent several months just down this NFT rabbit hole. And so I had all these thoughts swirling around in my head about like, oh, isn't that weird? Like, I don't think we're the first generation of like, outsider business people getting along with artists and stuff. But isn't it interesting that it's happening for us and it's happening at an internet scale? And why wasn't I interested in art before? Well, I was focused on doing all these other things kind of in the industry. And so like, and then, but I kind of looked around and I said, well, a lot of the other collectors are also just, people that have focused on building crypto companies or investing, these sorts of things. And like, I was surrounded by a bunch of people that were suddenly like super passionate about art, that had never, myself included, that had never really been exposed to it. And it's because we've just been focused on, this other mission. And so, and then also it was like, we got to hang out with like super interesting people that are like way more interesting than like a tech bro or whatever, right? Like, online at least, right? And so we, and I think we're seeing it now, like NFTs are super cool, but like, I think the thing that I saw there was this is a thing that actually can get a lot of people interested in crypto as a cultural movement, which was historically something that we would just nerd out on in like these really small circles, but it would be people that like, I think something that I wish I had written as a quote in part of that, or, something is like, I think that the world has like, I think there's just a limited percentage of people in the world who will get like, just totally inspired by like how Uniswap works, right? Like, I don't think that it's 100% of people will just be like, oh my God, this is an amazing piece of engineering and financial technology, right? Like
most people be like, I like the unicorn.
Yeah, exactly right, exactly. Like, oh, it's a cute brand. Like, it's really hard to use, but but like, I just think that there's like a societal limit on how many people are just like, oh my God, this is the most interesting thing in the world. I gotta quit my industry to go to crypto to work on Uniswap. Yeah. And I actually don't think that there's a societal limit on how many people who can, how many people would quit their job to work in like the internet creative industry now that the internet creative industry has a business model, right? Like, This is the thing, that scales our industry in a way, right? So we legitimize. But like the underlying technology of this was still built by us nerds, right? Like, nerds and investors and stuff, right? But like, but then it's like, yeah, we need new blood in the ecosystem that, and it's not just the artists either. Like it's, like we're talking about Axie Infinity and stuff. It's like these people that have built like, video game, game designers and, people that have built online communities and stuff. Like this is all new blood. And like, it's fantastic because we needed a shot in the arm, right? Like we needed like, it was a bunch of us just, talking about like, how we can build new risk instruments just for like, 7 years or whatever it was. And so suddenly it was this exciting, new group of people that are like, oh yeah, what you guys built is pretty cool. Like we can try building our own stuff with it. And, and I mean, for me, that was like the, oh, holy shit, this is a cool thing. That was my, like, that's the unholy union. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so apt. It's exactly what's going on. It's like you guys came in and built the building, and then now you need interior designers to come in so people can actually like live in it.
Totally, yeah.
But yeah, it's exactly what's going on, and it was just such a succinct view on what's going on, and I appreciated the analogies to the past and when it's happened in the past, because it is, history is fractal, like the world's fractal, right? So these patterns occur over and over again. And it's just interesting to find yourself in the middle of one and realize where you are and be like, oh, this is what's happening. And I think your article kind of illuminated that for me a bit.
Totally. Yeah, I love it. I love the history is fractal comment. I think that's very much what happened here. What's happening here. There's a quote, and it's perfectly describing a fractal kind of inadvertently, which is like, history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's different, it's like there's been versions of this before, right? Where it's like, oh, and then of course, like to credit to the digital artists, right? It's like, I think we're helping to create in a huge way, like the moment for digital artists, right? And I think digital art had not had their moment yet. And so really, like, it is a perfect pairing because, we're both kind of like, hey, let's build something cool. Like, people keep ignoring us, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's happening now.
And in a microcosm, that's almost exactly what happened with Loot. Like, Loot is just code and an idea, and then it's like, hey, come build on this, and people got so excited about it. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff in what the Loot project did that kind of mirrors what's going on a macro scale, and it's totally fucking exciting, dude. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Are you still excited to go to work every day, do the NFT stuff? Or are you feeling tired?
No, candidly, like it's nice. I focus more on like markets and like,
sure.
I focus more on the market side for Binance, right? So, so for me, it's cool because I kind of have a few different work streams that are all related, right? Where it's like I'm building kind of crypto markets in Southeast Asia, so I'm building like where people trade and where people, cash out and what projects we connect into and that sort of thing. And then, we've got our own little community where there's the gamers and these sorts of, and like, people that want to start their, crypto art careers and stuff. And then I've got my collection, and they're all like separate things, but then they all are very much, I think, thematically, similar. And so it's good. I think of myself as kind of all three of those things.
A Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Renaissance man of crypto.
Yeah. Well, maybe a Renaissance man as not the artist, but the Renaissance was another one of those moments, right? Yeah. Where it was these people that had, these merchants, right? It was the Medicis that were very interested in art and all these other things, but then they were also innovating in the business side, and they were building, literally like they were building their own accounting ledger system, right? So that was like the big innovation of the Renaissance finance, right? It was like triple entry accounting or something, right? It was literally like how you kept the books allowed you to scale your business across Europe. And then there were all these innovative artists who were overlooked by the church, right? Because it was like, hey, you can't do that. There's a dick in that, right? It was literally like, hey, this is boobs, man. You can't make this into art.
Stop,
right? Like,
stop it.
Yeah, right. And so like you can't make this. We might get horny, right? Like, that was kind of like that was the church's stance around the Renaissance. And then like the financiers was like, no, you can make it. It'll be all right. Right. And so like that was very much an unholy union, like
sure,
arguably more unholy than this one, right? Like, yeah. And so maybe a Renaissance man in that sense, which was like, the merchants had to help to validate an artistic movement by, kind of giving it, they gave each other public legitimacy, Yeah, again, for history's fractal, right?
Yeah, 100%. Dude, this has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed having you on. Thank you for coming.
Likewise.
Let's wrap it up. Let's drop what links do you want to do? Anything you want to promote? What's coming up? All that good stuff. Show us.
Sure. Yeah. I would start at just my handle. My Twitter handle is @Goltra. I am very present there. If you respond in my comments and stuff, I'm usually pretty, I usually interact, pretty highly on that platform. And then I have my yacht there, which has a lot of just links to stuff. It's Wave Dragon Wave is my yacht.
Hell
and
that's
so,
a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Although I wish I had gotten like Wave Sun Wave. I can't complain about having a dragon in my yacht.
Pretty cool.
But,
I've got Rainbow Mushroom Rainbow.
That's a great one. That's a great one. Yeah, that's a very psychedelic one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just I would start there. I am like always. I probably have a Twitter addiction at the moment, but like it's just kind of where the show is for me. And so I'm always on Twitter. So you can feel free to ask me questions about anything you heard in this talk. I'll try to weigh in on it. And then all of my jumping off links are in my link there, which is my yacht.
Perfect.
Cool.
There you have it.
Orphan, thanks so much for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem, dude. I'm gonna do a little outro, but I'm gonna play the raucous round of applause for you, and I'll catch you later. We'll talk on the back end about donating to the First Mint Fund.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, just shoot me a Twitter DM. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can do.
Okay, perfect.
All right, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Cheers.
See ya. Ooh-wee, that was fun. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for being here. That was great. Man, dude, how smart is that? Man. How smart is Goltra? That is crazy. He has an uncanny ability to condense patterns. The way that he spoke, I mean, you could tell it just by that off-the-cuff response to Diana. Just immediately 3 pillars. Here's what you need to do to further yourself as a one-of-one artist. And then his very apt analogy between the Renaissance and what we're currently going through, the unholy union. Man, what a pleasure to talk to him. So, I hope you all enjoyed that. I'm going to be popping this up on YouTube. Was marking certain clips there. Hopefully we can condense some of that into some smaller clips so you can share and show your friends if something's applicable to them. Today's Thursday, right? Yeah. Saturday. Next thing coming up for me is we're talking with the guys from Loot on Boys Chat on Saturday. 12 PST, 3 EST, 9 CST. That's where we'll be. I think we're talking with like 8 people. I think it's kind of like a big thing. But it should be fun. Loot was kind of a phenomenon, an uncanny project too. Like we were talking about, it's just it's just white text on a black background, giving you dungeon crawling loot, and it absolutely rocketed off. So, if you guys are interested in what Goltra was talking about today, in using the medium as the art, that's definitely one to come and hang out with us on. Should be a good time. But that's it for me, mostly. Make sure to mark on your calendars October 2nd. And if anyone is interested in giving something away on stream or wants to be a part of the auction, please just send me a DM. There's all sorts of stuff we can do. So if you're interested in being a part of it or helping out, please just let me know, and we'll figure something out. Diana, I'm glad it's a normal time for you. I should sprinkle in some of these earlier streams. I do know on Monday also. Monday I'm doing a stream with Jay. He's dropping some new project or teasing a new project, so that should be a more reasonable time for you as well. But early streams. Okay, so I gotta do some like math or something to figure out what is the best stream time for like all time zones. It doesn't really matter because anytime you stream, it's going to be like lunch for someone and midnight for someone else because we're global. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe we can just I don't know. Maybe we can just try some different stuff and see what happens. But I'm glad that for some of you Easterners, we had a stream in on your time, and a good one it was. Man, very very fun to talk to Goldtree. Big thank you to you. All right. Enough lambasting, blombasting, pontificating, blabbergasting. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go do the rest of my day because it's early here. Tomorrow, Savage Dogs reveals, which is pretty fucking pumping. I'm pumped. It's exciting. Or I'm pumping. I've got to go. See you guys later.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.